Hello everybody, it's Kristy here. Welcome to my channel. Hello to everybody. I wanted to show you what I'm doing with the part 3, or prompt 3 I should say, and it's folklore, fables and fairy tales, but I'm doing mine as the Crinoline lady. So I finished, I'll just show you here. I'm just about to finish off the rest of the doing a bit of seed stitching through there. I've sewn all that down and finished the flowers there, and I just wanted to clip that so I could concentrate on the next part, which is prompt 3, but I might put prompt 3 and 4 together, I think. What am I doing? Oh, after my other clip. So in my story, the next part is they're under the oak tree. They're stitching together under the oak tree, and then they have a cup of tea. So that's this part there. So actually that probably was in conjunction with the other one, but it's a bit difficult. That's 1, 2. Well, maybe this actually is prompt 3. Yeah, this is prompt 3. So that would probably go there somewhere, because that's that one. And I get a little bit confused with all my ones that I've typed out there. I don't know where the other ones are. They should be in here somewhere. No, they are around. I know they are. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with it. I drew out some Crinoline ladies. I managed to find some on the Pinterest, and then what do you call it? Shrink them down in the percentage part when you print them out. So anyway, I've done that, and I've copied this lady here to the same, try and do the same as my lady here. So that's her here, because she's come across through the village, and then she's meeting her other friends under the oak tree. I've got a cup of tea and a coffee thing, but it's a bit weird. I know it's up in the sky, but I don't, unless I put it down here, I could put it down there, and that would be the cups of tea. I could probably move them ladies up. But I've drawn it now, and I found it difficult to draw, so I might just leave it for now and just make a decision later. I had started stitching, and I thought, oh geez, I better get on here and show you what I'm doing. So like I said, I've drawn them out. There's some baskets there. I've got to put lace here and some fabrics, and I've got to put buttons in the other, and get some buttons, I think, because that's what's said in the story. And I'm just doing not back stitch. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten what it's called. Anyway, this stitch here, and I'm just doing a chain stitch to finish off across the dress as she has here. You know when you do a stitch for ages and then all of a sudden you just can't remember the name? That's what's happened. It's not, I know it's not satin stitch, it's not back stitch, it's going to bug me now. Let me see if I can have a look at one of my books. No, not split stitch. Stem stitch. I knew it was something like that. Stem stitch, that's what it is. So I've done stem stitch to outline the girl's dress. I hope you're all well. I'm still trying to recover from my cough. didn't know whether the Crinoline ladies were going to turn out, but I'm happy with that because you can't have them the other size because you'd have to have a massive big tree. So the trees, the oak tree's there, and the ladies are underneath the tree because that's what they said it was going to do in the story. So that's how I'm doing it. Sometimes you just got to go outside the box and not worry about size wise when you're doing these sorts of projects. It's all about getting it done. Could have been a little bit bigger, that chain stitch. Can you see? There we go. Just had to tap the screen because for me when I look into the screen it looks blurry, but that's because it's close-up work. So I had to go into the city this afternoon or this morning for my father-in-law's. He was doing some sort of test in the city. So we all packed up the dogs and headed off to the city. Only takes 25 minutes to get into the city. Not far. Okay, so I've done that one. I'm just going to anchor that one down there. I'm going to come back up. Hopefully not in the same hole. I'm going to do a stem stitch down the side of her dress. I should do it in white because it's on white on the other one, but there is pink in her dress. And if I do it white, it'll just get hidden within the white fabric. So I've got a croaky voice still. That's why I'm doing the pink, so it blends in. I'm only going to there because that bit there is going to be lace. I'm going to put some lace there for the bottom of the dress. So this will be the last stitch, so that just goes straight down. And let me see, I don't actually have to do the bottom of her dress. Just going to turn the iron on. I'm going to rub that out, that whole piece, because I have some trim here. And I'm going to do my best, because this will be perfect if I can do it, to just stretch it out and go all the way there. And I might just be able to pop that in there like that. And then that will cover her dress after I've probably done some bits in there. Right. I'm going to come up one more stitch, I think. Doesn't seem even on the other side. It's a bit better, and I'm just going to sneak it in there. That's better. And I'm just going to come straight up here. Now I can't do stem stitch the other way. I have to do it the way it's facing me, where I've seen other people do stem stitch in the opposite direction going upwards. I can't do that. So let's start off with a little bit. Now sometimes it's a bit tricky getting these stem stitch to work, but this is my way of doing it. I'm sure I remember a different way. Some people were doing it a different way. I'm not going all the way through. I'm trying not to because it's quite thick and it's really hard to push the needle through. Just like that. I'm going to do the bonnet in pink, I think. And I'm going to do her arms in a different colour. So otherwise it'll blend, and you don't want arms that blends into the dress. Maybe I might do the bonnet a different colour. So I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to go up here and back down. And I'm going to go come up here, and I'm going to go down into there and back up through there. So this is her actual body of the dress. And I'm going to do the point where it meets down the chest. And I'll do her neck and her arms in a different colour because you don't see the face. I'm going to come up there and go down there and then finish off the body of the dress. Really running out of cotton. So this is fairly a simple thing to do. If you wanted to give it a go, you just got to go online, maybe go to Pinterest and find some pictures and then shrink them down via your printer. When you press print, you've got a section down the bottom there that tells you the percentage. And mine came up at a different percentage, like 32%, but then I had to still keep going down and down. And you can, on my Epson printer, you can see the size. When you decrease it smaller, it's showing you on the computer, on the screen. This might be my last pink, because that's getting a bit annoying. So there we go. Let's turn her around. I can't see. Right. There we go. So that's what she looks like so far. So it's not too bad. Don't forget, I've got to put the trim at the bottom and finish off the other bits. So I might even do the bonnet a different colour. I don't know. Or I might mix the word has escaped me. Cotton, pink cotton and a purple cotton together. And I have gone and lost. That's the colour of the body. That's going to be that there. These are going to be the rest of the dress. And I have lost the pink. Here it is. I'm getting tangled up in other cottons. So that's it there. That's her, the colour of her cotton. So let's see what else we've got here. I was doing 3 strands. So let's chop this off flush and keep that over there. We'll get 3 strands from this one. Finish off that little bit down there, and then I'll think about what I'm doing for the other bits. Because you can change it up. You don't have to have it exactly the same. But this one's going to be the same colours. I'll do the colours of these ladies in a different colour altogether. Might even do a purple dress and some yellow little daisies on the bottom. We'll see. So I'm going to come up here. Rethread my thread. And finish off the stem stitch. Oh, it's gone blurry again. I'm sorry about that. It's really annoying when it does that. because I don't know that it does it. Maybe I'm just a bit too close. But then you want to see what I'm doing. Turn that iron off. Everybody's fast asleep here today. Little Molly girl's going outside by herself. So that's good training. Right, I'm just going to attach that down, straight down there like that. Okay, so that looks like her dress and, excuse me. Oh, it's blue. All right, so that's fine. What I might do is do some little French knots down the bottom. See how that goes. Yep, just go along where you can because I want to use up the thread. That's why I'm doing it. You may as well. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll. I think that I'll be happy when I get at least one girl done and I'll know what she looks like. I think my ladies don't, I only have a Crinoline lady. I don't know the other characters' names. I don't have one. I don't really fancy naming them because the story is actually about the Crinoline lady. Right, one more to do. I'll just do that one there. It just gives it a bit of texture to the dress instead of being plain and boring. Right, end that off there. That looks good. All right, I'll get some blue. Now I don't need a lot. I'm just going to cut the 6 strands straight across, and whatever's left over, if it's good enough to keep, I'll keep it, otherwise I'll just throw it out. It's only so much thread you can keep. I say that about fabric. Got myself all caught up in a knot. I know I shouldn't do it like that. But sometimes it actually works. Sorry, I was talking a bit quiet there. I said sometimes it actually works when you do it that way. Right, get rid of those. Put these pieces back together. Sometimes that clock is a little bit annoying, but I've had it for a long time and I suppose I just wanted to hear it. It keeps me in time anyway, that's what it does. No, we've missed it completely. Let's do it the other way. Fold over the cotton against the needle and then flatten it out, and then that should be thick enough for you to, excuse me, to go and finish it off. All right, so these are going to be stem stitches. I have no idea what the time is or how long I've been going. I just want to do tiny ones because they are tiny. You know, it's a tiny dress. Oh my goodness. Now what I'm going to do with the oak tree is get my cotton there, the green one that I showed you, and I'm just going to anchor all the leaves down and try and make that flat as I can. I bought it in Ballarat when we were at Susanna's retreat, and I never really got to use it. And I thought, oh, that would make a great part of the tree. Right. What if I can do it? I think that's how I do it backwards. That looks something like that. I thought I'd give it a go in the other direction. Now I can do it frontwards. Just pull on it a bit. Hang on. There we go. No. I hate that when that happens. And you don't realise it's happening until it comes out. All right, so let's do this one here. See if I can go backwards again. Not sure which side of the fabric of the needle it needs to go in. That was me. My fingers got stuck. Right, one more stitch in. All right, so what I'll do is I'll leave it here. It's about ready to cough, I think. Go away and stitch these down. Maybe I'll come back and show you the baskets. If that's where they are, they might be in a different place. And the teapot and the cups, wherever they went. There, I've just got to find a suitable home for that part. And what else is in that part? No, that's the next part. I was trying to think of what was happening there, but that's in prompt 5 or 4. Prompt 4 and 5 maybe I might join together, because that's sort of a big section, whereas this is only a bit of a tiny section. All right, so I'll be back. I'm not sure when, but it'll be a second for you. Back to show you a little bit more of my project. So what I've done is I've couched all the, oh, I haven't couched, I've stitched all down. I don't think it's focusing. There we go. The oak tree, so that was quite easy to do. And then I've done my Crinoline lady. I tried to do it in the same colours of her original outfit, which is there. I don't like the black arms, but I'm just going to leave that for now, and I might change it later. And then I started on the other Crinoline ladies and the basket. I've got my pink here, so I'm going to sort out the body. So her body's going to be pink. Just doing a bit of a stem stitch. I'll just do a tiny little bit of show you what I'm doing, and then I'll come back with it finished. Now what did I do? I just sort of coloured in the shoulders of that because it was quite small. So I know it's a bit flapping around a bit. I've got to get my hand underneath, roll up my jumper. I'm a bit cold at the moment. So I've had some lovely comments liking my Crinoline lady, so that's really nice. Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself organised. It's not always the best thing, but sometimes you have to ruffle yourself about to get yourself in the right position to stitch. So I'm just doing a back stitch around the arms of the Crinoline lady. Excuse me, I've got a terrible cough. I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow. I've already rung them up, but they didn't really do anything. So I'm going to go in this time. And I'm just trying to do some tiny backstitch. And this is a big needle, so it doesn't always help with getting it through all the fabric, but I like it because it's a bigger needle. Right, so I've done that part of the shoulder. So what I'm going to do now is just come in and basically colour in the shoulder. Just watching something and he missed the ball. That was annoying. That could have been out. But anyway, you can't. Oh. Actually, I don't think it was out. I think it hit the ground first. I'm just watching the last bit of the cricket, but it's on silent, so I can just watch it by the picture. Right, so I've done that shoulder, little shoulder there. So her arm's going to come down into there like that. And I've got to go over here and do this one. Or actually, I might travel the yarn, the cotton, across her body. Go into her neck. Oh, actually, that's not going to work, is it? Because the neck needs to be a different colour. So let me pull that out and find my needle and thread. And I'm just going to go there, because that's going to follow the line of her dress, the V-neck of her dress. Then we come up here and do the same on the other side. And I think I bumped the camera, so I'm sorry about that. And then we're just going to go back up here and come back up to the dress. So that gives it the shoulder line. And then I'm going to go in and do the round puffy shoulder. It's not going to be very good, is it? Let me see how I can fix that up. I think I might just chop that out. Where's those little scissors? That's better. Just trying to chop the fabric out. There we go. And then all I'm going to do now is just fill in. It's not really a circle, so I might try and bring it round a little bit. I'll just fill in her arm. It's annoying when the thread comes apart. Okay, so let's try and fill in this. And then I'm going to leave it here because all I'm doing is just sewing in the lines of the Crinoline lady with some cottons. And then I'll be back to show you that one, and then I'll be on to the next prompt. Right, I'll come down here. Just do a little tiny stem stitch. I'm trying to learn to do it backwards by going upwards and not turning the fabric and coming down. So it's just a bit of practice. All right, so I'll turn it around. The bonnet's going to be a different colour. What I need to do is clip my the rest of it because it keeps flapping about. Just let me get some clips for a moment. I've got one big one, so I'll do a big one at the bottom. There we go. All right. There we go. So I finished that. I've done the oak tree. Unfortunately, my thing's crooked, but I can't unpick it anymore. It's too much. Excuse me. And I put my basket on. It's only going to be one basket, even though there's 3 ladies. And I'm going to sew in the Crinoline lady. I'll have 2 different colours, and then that will be the end of that. And then you can see I've got to put on my teacups. I still don't know where to put them. I'm thinking I want to put them down here and maybe just have a teapot and a teacup and don't have that one. Because, yeah, I don't know, unless I just sit it under there. But it's facing the wrong way, isn't it? All right. Let me put them 2 there together. And I'll think about the other one. Okay, I'll be back with it finished. So here I am finished with my prompt 3, and I'm going to put prompt 3 and 4 in together because I don't have 6 parts. 1, 2, 3. I only have 4. So I'm going to do 3 and 4 together. So I'll show you 3 in a minute, and I'll do prompt 5 and 6 together, and that will be my last video, and then I'll be finished. So I've done the Crinoline ladies. I've just got to stitch in with the hats of their hats. I've done the little tiny buttons, the T, excuse me, and then prompt 4 was what are they doing and where are they going, and sort of meet the 3rd character. Well, I've got my characters here already, so I don't need any more characters in, but I probably have put in another character. So she'll probably join. She was joining these, but anyway, maybe she was late and she had to go back over the bridge. So this is my other one. So a soft breeze tossed the delicate lace into the air. So that's my little lace there into the air. I'm thinking I might do this blue for a little bit of sky, but maybe I might just do it with little French knots or thread beads, as Sally calls them. So that would depict the sky. There's my bridge. So the friends hurried after it through the blooming gardens. So this is my blooming gardens, and across the bridge. into the hidden meadow with stunning flowers. So this is sort of stunning flowers that this will be. And then they discovered a wooden sewing box, and inside were quilting needles, lace trims, and a handwritten note. Well, I'm not going to do the handwritten note. I'm just going to do the box. So that's the treasure box. And I'm thinking I might do it with these bits of fabric, but cut them up into squares and place them down and turn it into a box. And they knew that they had found something special from long ago. They carried the box home and all the treasures to finish their finished quilt. So maybe I won't actually, because this could be the fabric inside, because I've got to do a finished quilt. So I am going to think about the box. I'll have to rethink about what type of box it's going to be. Maybe I'm just going to stitch a brown box. But it needs to be brown, doesn't it? Maybe this could be the treasured box, part of this bit here. That could be a treasured box, couldn't it? Because it looks a bit old. So how about if we just cut a bit of fabric out of that? This is part of Corinne's stuff. Or I could have a treasured box like this one, couldn't I? Maybe this would be a bit better. Let's cut both out together. I quite like that one. It has to be a bit of a neat box. Oh, now that's all falling apart, coming undone, I should say. It's not the neatest of, nicest of fabric because it's polyester and they don't crease very well. I'm not doing a very good job. So there's one box. I quite like that box. So this is going to be my box there. So I'll get the iron and I'll flatten all that out properly and turn that into a box like that. I'll just turn my iron on. And then this is old feed sack fabric. So what I'm going to do is, I've ripped that one accidentally, but that's all right. I'm going to use this type of fabric here. Turn these into little squares, unpick these and turn them into little squares and make a quilt out of that. Because it sort of matches the colours, the purples and the pinks. And that will be my last prompt. So that will come later. But here, I'm just going to put all these flowers down. So hopefully they're not too overcrowding and they don't look silly, because I'm not used to putting things together sometimes. And you're just not sure, like, because nothing's in scale perspective. So, but I do like that, because when you take this away, I'll bring it down. When you take that away, I don't know if it looks like a field of meadow. It probably looks better without that, actually. So I'm going to leave that out and put this in last and see what happens to the way I think about it. I'm just picking up my pins, putting them in my pin thing. That one can go in the bin. I don't like that. So let's come back here. So I've got to stitch all these words on, the names on, and back them first and then stitch this on. So I'm going to try and fill in a little bit of the hat. Right, that's ready to go. So I'll get my iron. We will iron down the box. I better go and see what Molly's doing. One moment. Everything's sorted, that's fine. All good. Right, let's fold this over. Sorry about the wobbling. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. Now, I don't know if it's too big or too small, but if I think it might be just a little bit too big because it needs to be a box, doesn't it? So let's just cut this bit off. And then we'll fold over that edge there. There's some pins there. Pins are going everywhere. I'm just going to put those in there. Right. That's a much better box. Let's pin that on. Now I have this bit here. I have this here. I could use this as bits of tufty grass along there. I might do that. A bit of tufted grass in through there as well. Yeah, I might do that as well. So I'm going to probably cut off about that much. And I have the rest of this here, but I don't think so. It's a bit too much. So I'll pin that on. I'll do that. I'm going to pin these down. Oh, they've pinned down, I beg your pardon. I'm going to do the bonnet. Now for the bonnet, it just doesn't need a lot. It just needs a few stitches for it to go into. I've just unravelled my thread. There we go. So this is her bonnet, and I'm just going to, I know why, because my needle, whoopsie daisy, is way too big. Now I've lost my, here it is. I wanted a small one. I mean, a needle is what I mean. Right. I could actually push that up a bit more so she's not so much in the tree. Turn off the iron. I think I'm doing the right thread. I don't actually know, but it's the same colour, so I'm thinking the thread is just that little bit thicker when I did the stem stitch around the bonnet. I'm not going to do the front, so that's just a tiny little bit of white in there. That's better. I don't know why it goes out of focus. It's quite annoying, to be honest. And I don't know if it goes out of focus because it does it on its own. I think the bonnet looks much better coloured in with a bit of fabric. Yep, and then I can see a tiny bit of white just there. Might as well try and use up as much of the thing I can. Right, I think we're done. That looks better. It looks like a bit more of a Crinoline lady with a bonnet. Not too worried about tying it off. Right, a bit of green. I probably don't need to show you the rest of the video. Whoops. I've just realised this green has a knot in the centre of it. What I might do, I think I'm going over my time. I've already done a fair few chopping videos on this, so I'm going to leave it here. But what I'm going to say is thank you for watching, and I hope you liked my Crinoline lady, and probably I will get all this done here, and I will show you it finished in the other video, prompt 5 and 6, but this is sort of prompt 3 and 4 together, and I'm liking mine so far. Like I said, I'm going to have a think about that. I don't know if I think I quite like it like that. It looks a bit more of a meadow. Maybe I can do green seed stitches in the background to make it look a bit more grassy type feeling. Possibly I could even put some of these, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to leave it here with my lovely little Crinoline ladies and having her cups of tea with her basket of goodies and her buttons and lace and fabric. And I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye for now.